Yo, what is going on, everybody? Give this live 1 second to update. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another training. What we're going to do today is go over a couple big things that I see holding a lot of trainers back. Now, if you guys didn't know, I work with PT. I help them start and grow their online coaching business, and we work with people who really are just starting from scratch. So some of these trainers don't even have social media. Some of these trainers are just getting certified. We also have trainers who are looking to grow and scale. So we work with like a spectrum, but on a day-to-day, we work with a lot of trainers who are just getting started, and there's so many things that hold them back that are not easy fixes, but we've pretty much found the solution just by working with so many of these trainers. Now you might be asking yourself, what are these things that hold them back? I've picked out 3 of them that I want to talk to you guys about today and how to overcome them. So hopefully you guys see value out of this training. You guys are able to take what you learn and actually apply it to your own life and to your business. But let's go ahead and go over what topics we're going to talk about. So the first one is how to stand out online. So this is something that a lot of trainers struggle with when it comes to creating content because they feel like they're going to blend in with other trainers. They also think that their content isn't going to be anything special or that they're not going to provide anything new and different into the marketplace. And so I see a lot of trainers have burnout when it comes to this roadblock specifically, because they'll go, a couple months consistent content, and then after a while they're just like, well, what do I do now? Do I just what's eventually like educational content and just posting information is going to become redundant. And so how do you create content that's different, and how do you create content that stands out from everyone else's? Because if one person's posting something about a squat, the chances of another person posting about a squat are very high, because a squat, you can only talk about a squat so much. So how do you actually differentiate yourself from other people's content? Another thing that we're going to talk about today is imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome, essentially what that is when you have the belief that you're not good enough, or you feel like you're not valuable enough, or you feel like you're not qualified. This is something that I used to deal with a lot. So when I first started my fitness coaching business, I was like, who am I to start coaching people? There's so many better coaches out there. Why would anybody want to work with me? And even when I started PTBI and I started working with personal trainers, I had the same limiting beliefs. Who am I to start business coaching people? There's much better programs out there. Why would anybody listen to me? And that was just my imposter syndrome coming up. And I've seen this time and time again. I've worked through it myself. I've also worked through it with a ton of other trainers. I have some solid strategies. Now, the thing with imposter syndrome is that there's no it's not a light switch. It's not something you could turn on and off. It is something that you're going to have to work through. But hopefully what I share with you guys today will be something of value that you guys can take with you. And then lastly is how to deal with anxiety when it comes to starting your business. When you guys are starting your business, there's going to be so many things to be anxious about just because you have so many things on your plate to do. You got to build a sales process. You got to do your DM outreach. You got to set up your back end. You got to make your own sales. There's so many things. And especially when you're just getting started, you not only have to do the things, but you also have to learn how to do the things, which is just adds more, I guess, what you would say, brush to the fire. It makes the anxiety even worse. And so how can you break down your business into little chunks to help the anxiety when it comes to getting started? So those are the 3 things we're going to talk about today. We will go ahead and start with the first thing, how to stand out online. So this came with a client I was talking to actually yesterday, and he was explaining that he got burnt out with creating content. He was trying to add as much value as he possibly could to each post, and I think that's amazing. But at the same time, he was telling me that his concern was he didn't want to lose his personal self. He also was running out of creativity. And I asked him, what kind of content are you creating? Just educational content, calorie deficits, calorie surpluses, squat form, workouts, et cetera, et cetera. I said, well, if you post that kind of content, you're just going to blend in with everyone else. Eventually, you're going to run out of things to talk about, and you're just going to blend in, you're not going to cut through the noise. I told him the way that you stand out online is to talk about yourself. And I know that might sound vain. I know a lot of people feel, really weird talking about themselves, but trust me, your stories and your experiences are what's going to make you different, because nobody else has your story. The other thing too is your story and experiences is what makes you relatable to other people. And so while learning what the best workout for chest is might be great, learning how you learn that and sharing your experiences about the struggles that you faced when it came to building your chest, that's going to stand out because no one else can repeat that story. That is unique to you. The other thing is that it builds a strong relationship with the reader on the other side because it's relatable. So if you want to stand out online, the answer is to share your own personal story, share your transformation, and share the experiences that you've learned along your fitness journey that's going to allow you to cut through the noise and slice through just, your generic educational content. Now, should you not post educational content? You absolutely should. But if you only post educational content, you're not going to stand out at all. You're not going to have any personality online, and you're not going to be relatable. How you stand out is you share personal information about yourself, things that you like, things that you've learned. It's just like, talk about your learning lessons. Share what you've learned along your journey that's going to help somebody. I hope that one helps. The next thing that we're going to talk about is imposter syndrome. Now, remember, this is something that comes up whenever it comes to start. What will happen is every time you go to, try to post something online, you might have this little voice in the back of your head that's saying, hey, don't do that. You don't know enough. You're not good enough, right? Now, is that voice valid? Honestly, I think that voice is valid in certain circumstances. The reason why you have that voice is, I'll give you an example. If you're a fitness going to have imposter syndrome because you're going to start thinking that, oh, they're going to talk shit on me. My family's going to hate that I'm making this decision, and they're going to think I'm not good enough. When you put your attention into those places, those are the thought processes you're going to have because your brain is going to try to please those people. And in order to please those people, your brain's going to say, don't show up, don't post anything because don't get their attention, right? And that is really hurting you in your business. That's where imposter syndrome comes up, is you're paying attention to the wrong people. Now, the thing is, those feelings are valid. Those imposter syndrome feelings are valid because when you pay attention to those people, those are the feelings you get. But at the same time, you need to ask yourself, are those the right people to even be paying attention to, right? Chances are they're probably not. Your friends who are going to hate on you aren't going to invest in you as a coach anyway. Your parents likely aren't going to invest in you as a coach anyway. And then the coaches that are ahead of you, they're not worried about you or your business anyway, so it doesn't matter what you do. So start paying attention to the people that you actually want to help. So start paying attention to that one person who keeps asking you for fitness advice. Start paying attention to the one person who's complaining about their weight that you know that you can help. Start paying attention to the younger generation that needs the help and education for fitness and coaching. When you shift your focus to those people, your brain's going to start thinking, hey, I can actually do this. I actually have the answers for this. I actually know how to help these people. Why? And then you're going to feel empowered to actually show up for those people. So when it comes to imposter syndrome, something that you want to do is you want to make sure that you pay attention to the right people and show up for those people. You start having those thoughts of like, oh, they're going to think this is silly. They're going to think this is dumb. Well, you're trying to please the wrong people. Start thinking about the right people. Something that really So one person is more aligned with that person's goals than the other. So start thinking about the person who's actually aligned with the people that you want to help and that's going to be supportive, so that way you can feel empowered to show up and not depowered to show up. The other thing too is you want to make sure that you take count of all the reasons why you're qualified. Usually what happens is when people feel like they're unqualified, they start taking count of the reasons why they're not qualified. I haven't been doing it long enough. I haven't had enough experience. I haven't done in person. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. They start checking off all the reasons why they're not good enough. This is going to make you feel depowered. It's going to literally take away the empowerment from you. And so what you want to do instead is start listing out the reasons why you can do this. Start listing off the reasons why you can do that, and that's going to make you feel empowered. I can help somebody. I've done this myself. Even if I try, I can learn. I've taken certifications. These are all positive reasons that make you qualified, and so remind yourself of those qualification or those qualifying reasons, I should say. Now, the last thing is anxiety, right? Anxiety is going to be big when you're just getting your business started because you have so much to do. Not only do you have to do the work, but you also right? And so what I always recommend for coaches that are getting started, and this is primarily for people who are in our program, which is PTBI, I recommend taking a good amount of time to learn the material first and foremost. Now, if you are getting started and you're not in a program, let's say that you're doing this on your own, I would take a good amount of time figuring out what the heck it is you need to know, right? So first, figure out what you need to know, and then figure out how to do it, but don't try to do it all at the same time. All right, because once you figure out how to do it, then you can do it confidently, knowing the entire system. But I wouldn't try to figure out how to do it and actually do it at the same time. That's very, very anxiety inducing. For example, I have a student and she decided to jump the gun on her business, which I don't think is a bad move. But again, it creates a lot of anxiety because, she goes out and books a call and she's got someone who's ready to book a call, but she hasn't yet learned how to take a sales call, hasn't put together her offer, and now she has a timeline and she's freaking out because she's absolutely stressed out because she doesn't have anything ready. Whereas if she focused on just learning first, putting together the offer, learning how to take a sales call, and then book the call, there would have been a lot that thing with no pressure. Take your time. Lastly, do the thing. That is the best way to bring the anxiety levels down as you get your business started. So I hope that helped, guys. If you guys are interested in learning about the PTBI program, just shoot me a message or leave a comment down below this video, and we will catch you guys in the next training. Peace.